Sorry, my phone cut off. It wasn't acceptable behaviour, like in any way, shape or form. It was insane. Like, I guess I've just been stuck in that cycle for so long that I felt like I could do no wrong. I felt like I was the fucking, oh, look at me, I do all this fucking work and I do everything and I try and do this and, just nobody's appreciative and, I know you appreciated it and I know that you appreciated the effort that I used to put in. And then I just stopped because I had you and you're my girlfriend and we lived together, and the more further we got through our relationship, the less effort I put in. And if it wasn't for you leaving, I might never, ever, ever have changed my ways. I might have just continued on like that. At the end of the day, the only thing that's important is that I didn't listen to you. You were right. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I was impossible to work with. I didn't make it easy. I constantly thought inwards about myself and not about you and what was going on. I didn't make any attempts to change. I didn't make any attempts to fix my life. I made excuses. And it got to the point where I wanted to be alone, because if I was alone, nobody could tell me that I was fucking up and that I was doing anything wrong. And for the first week that you weren't here, I just spent the entire week doing nothing. And after that week, I realised just kind of like how fucked up my life was, and I have made attempts to try and fix it. I have a schedule, I take out the bins, I look after the cats. I'm like a functioning person. I go out for my bike ride. I've been sorting out my doctor's appointment, even though it's bloody hard in the middle of fucking nowhere. I am just like so frustrated because I've been doing all of that, but then I've been getting on with you, and instead of like apologizing, I've been trying to just be like, oh no, look, I'm good now. Like, I'm perfectly fine now. I'm like a person. Everything's great. And I realise that must come across as like so dismissive to you. Or also like, why is he doing that stuff now? Why is he being like this now? Why couldn't it have been like this back then? And then you get upset or angry, which is fine and understandable. Or I do something to upset and anger you, like following some fucking idiot on Twitter or Instagram, some woman. And, you must think like, this guy's like, he's just a fucking cunt. And he's being a cunt. And he's not stopping being a cunt. And he's not going to apologise for what I did. And he's not going to try and make it work with me. He just kind of wants me to be here. He doesn't want to lose me. I was trying to be like too cool and nonchalant at points, and then I would let it slip how uncool and how not well I was taking everything, and by that I mean my behaviour. I haven't been lashing out at you because of the fact that you left me. I've been lashing out at you because of the fact that I didn't fix my stuff. And I think what's worse, I'm being completely honest here, because I don't want to leave anything off the table at this point, is that, like, I generally had a conversation, like, with my friends a few months ago just about, like, how much I feel like, I've just, like, I don't feel good about myself, and I hadn't, and I would wake up a lot of the times when I was with you, and I'd think, I knew that I didn't deserve to still be with you. And instead of fixing it, I was just like, oh, I've already fucked it anyway. I became worse. Like, I sabotaged it. And it was intentional, because I knew that I was being shitty. And I just thought, it's already too late. And it's really fucking piss poor. Now, obviously, it wasn't as clean cut as that. A lot of this stuff has been really complicated to work out, because I blow hot and cold. You've seen me. I'm apologising 1 minute, shouting the next. Angry 1 minute, please come here, hold me. It's like, I just feel like I've been really battling through this very weird thing. Also, with issues we'd have, you did this. Oh, wait, no, I see you didn't. It's okay, don't worry about it, forget about it. But it doesn't matter. I opened up a wound, and it scars, and the scar is always there. Just because I feel okay about it now doesn't mean that you did. And when I used to say stuff about, why can't we just move on? It's because I felt like I felt like I was comfortable, and I didn't make the effort to see if you were. And if you weren't, because I was, I didn't understand why you couldn't be. Now, I don't really know what that is. But I know that it's wrong. And I know that I knew of it. And to be honest, I thought that at a certain point, when I was sleeping on the sofa and stuff, I convinced myself that that's what you wanted. You obviously didn't. So I'm not saying you wanted it and I did it. As in, I convinced myself because I was making an excuse for myself. Not as in, I was doing it for you. I don't mean if I say anything along those lines, that's not how I mean it. I wasn't doing it for you, I was doing it for me. It was easier to avoid you. I wasn't putting the effort in. Because you obviously had said, like you have on this, give me time to come back, talk properly, apologise. I need time to process stuff. And I wasn't doing it. And then I started doing it almost like out of spite. I started doing it being like, oh, yeah, well, I'm sleeping on the sofa now. Isn't this what you wanted? Isn't this what you wanted me to go away? Because I'm such a fuck up? It was like self-pitying, self-absorbed bullshit. And, it's just really, fucked up thing to do to you at the end of the relationship. So I know why you left, because at that point, there was, no love. At least I wasn't showing it anyway. A kiss when you're playing League probably was more annoying than anything, because you know I was probably doing it to avoid our problems. I got too reliant on you putting me in my place and then you forgiving me. It just became a cycle. I allowed you to be the fixer-upper of our relationship, and it wasn't right, And then I made everything worse. There's so much more that I could go into detail about and talk about. I don't know. Really, there's a lot. It's sometimes, hard to keep on track and, but I feel that's something that I wanted to say on top of everything. I just want to make it really clear that, it's, it was me. And anything that I said before in any argument, I have looked back at all of them. I went back and read them. I read old iMessages from us from the beginning of the last year. I could see how I caused everything. Jealous about you playing games with your friends because I wanted you to dedicate your life to me. Not in a fucking weird way. I just, I wanted to run off into the sunset with you. I was madly in love. But probably, I had, oh, fuck, my toe. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ow, fucking hell. I was madly in love, and, I wanted to just fucking keep you as my own. I don't want anybody else to have your time or anything. And, it's fucked up because, now I understand it. When I started playing games with my mates, I didn't have... At the time, I was just working. I was jealous of what you had, and I wanted to be involved because my friends had stopped playing games ages ago. It didn't really talk. Everybody had moved away. At the time we met, the only thing I had going was making YouTube videos and you. And, that's why for the first, 3-4 months, I was just, constantly obsessed. And then I did try to make it more healthy. That's why I started playing games with my friends. But even then, I started to do that at the point where I should have been giving you more attention. I was doing everything in the wrong order. And for the wrong reasons. And I am deeply sorry for that. And I just wanted to make that clear, that I can see every single direction where I went wrong. And obviously there's more stuff that upset you. And, my behaviour recently, after that, that's just a horrible misplace of my own ego. I have wanted you to run back to me, and I wanted you to, be forgiving. I wanted you to just kind of go, yeah, that's good enough, Alex, you've tried, or we'll work on it. And you did do that. It's the worst part, is you did do that. And at the time, I wanted so much more. I was so desperate for you to just fucking come back home, that anything else that wasn't that just made me so frustrated, because I felt like it was slipping away. But not just that, I felt like I even said to you, I'm worried that I haven't got to a place. I was still being vicious and lashing out at you and being angry. But I was using it as an excuse to fucking do it, being look, I might do it. It was it was blackmail. I was being you should call me, because if you don't call me, you're gonna lose the apology. And I'm gonna be all angry, and it's because I couldn't control my emotions at all. And I wasn't trying to. I wanted to. I felt like anytime you pulled away, I wanted to just burn everything down. That was just where my brain went to. Just fuck everything. Obviously, I'm not at that place anymore. But I was for 4 fucking months, so that's way too long. Obviously, there are points where I was doing better, but I wanted you to move at my pace. And obviously, I was sprinting because I did know the damage I'd done. So I was trying to push you too fast and further than you wanted, by showering you in gifts and sending you messages and trying to call you and being let's meet up and all of that. I should have done it all in the first week. I'm really deeply sorry that it took me this long to really reflect properly on everything. I was still victimizing myself, and it was wrong of me, and I should not have made that even more of an issue for you. Just really I really wasn't responsible. I wasn't being responsible, I mean. Because I was responsible, but I wasn't being responsible for your feelings. And, I can't believe that I was, how I was thinking. I'm sorry that this is super long on top of everything I've already sent you. I'll cut it here and wait for you to respond, and then, maybe I'll send more or whatever. I just want you to know that it's not your fault. And it wasn't your responsibility to fix me. And it wasn't your responsibility. I only came to this conclusion because I had to do it myself. Like, I had to go through this to get to this point, to figure this out. You didn't have to. You don't have to be a part of this. You don't have to have this happen. I should have done this in my own time, on my own accord. But I chose to bury my issues before fixing them. But it's not you. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Like, you're not responsible for this. You're not responsible for what happened. You tried your best. It's nothing to do with you. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because you're lesser or because you have issues. It's not because of that. Like, you were fine. It's not because you... It's not because of you. It's nothing to do with you. You were so open with me about so many things. I knew how you felt about all the stuff that I used to make excuses as to why I was feeling that way. Sorry. Like, I knew how you felt about everything. We spoke about everything. We covered everything. We buried everything. We'd have conversations about everything. It took me to meet your friends to stop being a fucking bitch about them. That's not acceptable. You just shouldn't have been a bitch about them in the first place. They were lovely people. I trusted them. Obviously, the recent stuff was kind of sucks, but that wasn't your fault. And, you did actually tell me, and you were upfront and honest about it, which is more than I could say for how I've been. And instead, I used that to call you a liar. So I understand why you... I understand it's my fault why we have a lot of all of the issues. Sorry, not a lot. I'm not trying to let myself get off the hook. All of them. And with work and stuff, I know that you're just trying to enjoy it. And I was making it unenjoyable for you because I wasn't having fun. So I believed that everybody else shouldn't have fun and that you shouldn't have fun. And that I convinced myself that life is miserable and life is fucking... putting up with stuff. And I just remember moments with you where I was my happiest and sat in your bedroom, just me and you, just lying there together. And it should have been that all the time. And when we got bare, or you got bare, sorry, still doing it, just how happy I was for you, because I thought it would help you heal. But I was right there just making stuff worse. I made them, even your relationship with the cat, like, I was upsetting you. And because I was being selfish and being like, why doesn't she... I was like, why doesn't she want to share the cat with me? And it's because of the way that I was acting. And I knew that, by the way. It's not me. I didn't just figure that out. Like, I knew that back then. I was like, of course she's going to take the cat away from me. I'm being a dick. Why would she want a cat near me? She doesn't want the cat to be attached to me because she probably wants to leave. And I felt that at the time. And instead of doing anything about it, I just fucking moped and sulked. Like a fucking child. I'm sorry for getting emotional. I'm just really angry at myself. Because you were the best. And I was the fucking... Oh, God. But you were... And even all the way back to when you said that stuff about the bipolar disorder. And I was mean. I read that text the other day. And I'm so angry. Like, why was I like that to you? I know what I meant at the time, but I was making it about me. And you said that, you knew that. And I did apologise back then. But I didn't change any behaviour. Like, I saw you say that and I thought, oh, that's an excuse for why she doesn't text me. That's an excuse for why she doesn't want to talk to me. Because I was down your throat. And in reality, you were just trying to say it's not my fault and I'm doing my best. But instead I thought you were using it because I was so convinced myself that like, you were out of my league and that I didn't deserve you. And also that I was going to fuck it up. I'd convinced myself that you were always looking for a way out. When in reality, you just wanted me to be normal. You didn't want my money. You didn't want anything from me, apart from me to just be what I could be all the time. And I'm so sorry, Alice. I'm so sorry. I let you down. And, I don't deserve to be forgiven. I don't deserve anything. I should be held accountable for my mistakes. To you, it was wrong. And I'm sorry, but it's taken you to do everything in your power to really make me understand it. I really held on to the last minute to not do this. Like, I tried my best to avoid this. And I don't know why, because if I'd have done it, if I'd have actually just truly been like, I fucking suck, I just didn't want to admit it, because honestly, I had convinced myself that my ego was the only thing that was keeping me going. I'd convinced myself it was the only reason I was working. I convinced myself it was the only reason why I could get anything done. And that if I didn't have my ego, then I wouldn't be able to work. And I'd give up on everything. And I'd quit. And then, I'd give up on life. And I'd just be this fucking mopey loser. When in reality, I think if I'd have just given up on everything, I would have been happy with you. But instead, I convinced myself that this fucking terrible behaviour was powering me like a fucking machine. And I told myself that without it, I would not be able to work and make myself do stuff, because I beat myself up all the time to work. I don't do it for fun. I wasn't doing anything out of enjoyment. I was doing it like, I've got to fucking do this. If I don't do this, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to fuck stuff up. Nobody's going to want to be around me. Nobody's going to be friends with me. But in the process, I was just pushing you away. And like you said it the other day, that you'd rather have nothing and be happy than have everything and be miserable. And, I would do anything in the world to have absolutely nothing right now apart from you. I would trade all of this, everything here, because it's worth nothing. It's not worth fucking anything. It's just built on being miserable. You were the only thing I had that I actually enjoyed. And I convinced myself that somehow that loads of it was fake and wrong. And I used it to hurt you. I'm going to leave this here. I don't know what you'll have to say. And I understand, really, whatever happens. Like, I'm not going to hold anything against you. Like, it's not your fault. I don't hold any of it against you. I don't hold anything. I understand. Like, I do. And I'm sorry for crying. I just, when I start, I don't open up ever, because I have kind of shut all of this stuff down for so long. Like, I hadn't cried in forever. The only time I ever cried is when I apologised to you, and that was because I realised kind of how much I'd fucked stuff up. And, seeing you hurt is just the worst. I don't want that. I don't want to see you hurting. I want that less than anything in the world. And I'm sorry for putting you through so much.